Someone has that song, so I can just look at the translation. Okay, thank you. Oh, Saki, my dear girlfriend, did you read the translation?
Yes.
What have I seen today? In a Kadamba grove on the banks of the Jamuna, a beautiful blackish boy holding a long flute named Vamsi is seated upon a throne of jewels, performing his pastimes as the king of all transcendental mellows. Situated upon that 8 petals of the jeweled altar is Sri Radha and Sri Hari, surrounded by their attendants, the 8 chief gopis. By singing sweet songs and by dancing nicely, all the gopis satisfy the treasured divine couple. Thus I am beholding Krishna's pastimes with his beautiful female consort, expanding throughout the splendorous forest. For the sake of the mellows of such pastimes, I will not go to my home, but I will instead enter into the forest, renouncing all shyness due to fear of family members, just worship the Lord of Braj. This is the humble submission of Bhakti Vinod. Shugita Nartani, Shavasaki Gani, Tusi Che Jugalathan. Very so these are, this is what's called meditation. We sing these songs and it becomes on the wings of the mood and the words of our acharyas, then we enter into these types of meditations. And even if someone is remembering them during their chanting their japa, then that's also nice. Now we're on verse 10. Okay. Yeah, verse 10, and then verse 11 and 12 will be the false stuti. Ratin Gauri Lile Apitapati Sundarya Kiranai Sachi Lakshmi Satya Paribhavati Shobhagya Balanai Vasikaras Chandravali Mukhanavina Vrajavasati Kshipat Aradhyatam Haridoitaradam Bhajamana. My worship Lord Hari's beloved Radha, who with the splendor of her beauty makes Rati, Gauri, and Leela burn with envy, who with the power of her good fortune defeats Sachi Lakshmi and Satyabhama, and who with her ability to control Krishna completely eclipses Chandravali and the other prize young girls in Braj. We've read in verse 8 that we should pray to Krishna to be engaged in Sri Radha's service. And both Krishna and Srimati Radharani have been given to us as objects of meditation in verse 9. Mind meditate on the Queen of Braja Forest as his mistress. Now here, we worship. Krishna says, Man manabhava mad bhakto, madhyajimam namaskuru, mame vaisaishi satyamte patjani priyosime. Or mame vaisaishi sat, mame vaisaishi yuktaivam atmanam matparayana. Those are the two different endings, same verse. And so that we should worship, we should meditate upon, we should chant the names. These are the manmanabhava bhakta, manmanabhava, that one should become absorbed in constant thought. In the 12th chapter, Krishna says that, well, if you can't do this, then you should practice the regulated limbs of devotional service, and that way you will develop a desire to always think about me, or you will actually come to that stage of naturally wanting to think, man manabhava, and then mad bhakto, and we should become devotee. So similarly here, now we get this message over and over again. Become devotees of Radha and Krishna, their associates, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the process. Madhyaji. So now here we're giving that same thing, that we should worship. We should worship them. How do we worship them? Well, the best worship, Harinama Eva Kirtanam, is chanting their names. That's the best form of worship. You can worship with so many upachars. You can worship with so many ingredients of deity worship, and that's nice. But the best form of worship is Yajna Sankirtana prayer. So prayer, practically speaking, that means that some deity worship, but this is primary, chanting their names. But nonetheless, one should not neglect to perform the proper types of worship that's actually there for the deity form of the Lord, which is non-different than Krishna. And as Srila Prabhupada said, that Pujari is the most fortunate person. He's doing the same thing here in the world that he will do there in the spiritual world. Namaskuru. And we should bow down. Certainly we should never neglect offering Ashta Anga, Pancha Anga, that offering our obeisances to the deity of the Lord, to the devotees, to the Lord's devotees. Of the two, offering obeisances to devotees is more important. Krishna is present in the heart of devotees. So one should see one's worshipable deities, Ishta Deva Spurti. One should see one's worshipable deities in the hearts of Vaishnavas and offer them due respect. Upadeshamrita describes what due respect is for the three different levels of Vaishnavas. We give blessings, we offer obeisances, we worship along with offering obeisances. So we offer obeisances to the worshipper, to the worshipped, to the Vaishnava and to the Supreme Lord who's within the heart of the Vaishnava. In Uddhava Gita, Krishna concludes the teachings to Uddhava by saying that offering respect and obeisances to all things within this world, animate and inanimate, obviously it's meant to be offered in different ways. Offering them obeisances, that is the surest means to attain Krishna's favor. It's very interesting that this is Krishna's ultimate recommendation. And we see, for instance, Raghunath Das Goswami, Kaviraj Goswami, who's been to Radhakund. I asked that question before. So no, in Shamakund, because they weren't actually living, Radhakund, everyone calls Shamakund, Radhakund. That's the Krishna. Krishna sort of gives that benediction that from now on, this area, even my lake, will always be addressed as Radhakund. So everybody says we're going to Radhakund, which means that we're going there to bathe in Radhakund and Shamakund. So, what was I talking about?
Offering obeisances.
Offering
obeisances.
Offering obeisances, Swami.
Raghunath Das Goswami offered obeisances to
Raghunath Das Goswami. He was by Shamakund, and where the you may have not seen, but when I first went to Radhakund, all the trees and bushes of the Pandavas were there at that time. Now I think it's one bush and one passed away tree, something like that. But everything was there. So just near there is Raghunath Das Goswami's Bhajan Kutir and Kaviraj Goswami, just a little hill there. So just going up. I wonder where that hill came from, whether it's the excavated earth or not. Dug out from the lake. Anyhow, and so Kaviraj Goswami knew Raghunath Das Goswami, and indeed he considered him his Guru Rupa Raghunatha Padijara. So he offers his obeisances to Rupa Raghunath Das Goswami. And he says Raghunath Das Goswami offered 2,000 dandavats every single day. Well, obeisances. Wow, it's physically very, just like doing 2,000 push-ups. So, and considering the fact that Raghunath Das Goswami was just drinking a little every alternate day, that much buttermilk, such. So still, he would offer obeisances to who? Well, any devotees who came to Radhakund and Shamakund, but then in his mind he would bow down before so many devotees. So, man manubhava mad bhakta. But Das Goswami says, let's focus everything on Radha and Krishna. Now, he's our whole sort of training in Krishna consciousness is that Krishna, become conscious of Krishna. And as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We preach about Krishna. Srimati Radharani really doesn't come much into the picture in terms of our readings, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes, but nonetheless, our mission is to actually establish that God is a person. Our business is not to tell people about God's intimate pastimes, but to establish that there is a God, God does exist, and that He's a supreme person, and He is Janmadya Sejataha. So He is the origin and source of everything. That's it. Then, when it comes to these things, Raghunath Das Goswami is not now talking to non-devotees. He's talking to devotees. This is meant for Vaishnavas. This is meant for advancing Vaishnavas, devotees who are fixed on the basics of sadhana, of practice, and also that they understand, they're very well fixed in the consciousness and understanding of Krishna as the Supreme Lord, who then appears in many incarnations, and at the same time, whose original form is as a cowherd boy. That has to be very, very strong until that's there, until Chitvayam Samsayam Yogam Vatito Tishtavart, until one has cut all doubts with the sword of knowledge, then these things are not for them. But one can still read, just to know that yes, such a thing does exist, and that there's somewhere else to keep going. So we should we hear about Srimati Radharani, and very interesting that we talk about beauty, that she's more beautiful than Rati. Rati is Cupid's wife. Gauri is Lord Shiva's wife. Is Lord Shiva's wife. Leela.
Lord Narayan's wife. Lord Narayan's wife.
A wife, yes, one of the Shaktis. Thank you. Lord Narayan's wife, that they burn with envy, transcendental envy, at her beauty. And then that her good fortune, which means her qualities, defeats Sachi, who is Indra's wife, Lakshmi, who is Lord Narayan's wife, and Satyabhama, who is then Dwarkadish's wife. And out by her ability to control Krishna completely, then she eclipses Chandravali and all the other gopis. In other words, she is superior in all ways to the demigoddesses of heaven, to the Lakshmis of Vaikuntha, to the queens of Dwarka, and ultimately to all the other gopis in Vrindavan. Well, someone reads, they think, why are we just emphasizing beauty? What if someone's not beautiful? There was a old Shavari, there are the Shavaras who keep pigs. Shavari means the wife or female. And she was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, which is very unattractive. And but she had this spontaneous attachment and attraction to Lord Ramachandra. So when Lord Ramachandra came, when he was going to exile, when he appeared to where she was, then she, forgetting all about any kind of etiquette, any standard of propriety, then she just approached him and began to directly feed him. And Lord Ramachandra accepted it. Why? Well, because of her love. It wasn't an issue of her being attractive or not attractive. Nonetheless, or the other example is the leper. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and embraced the leper. Who's seen a leper? Puri? Vrindavan? Puri?
I don't remember. But I've seen.
Vrindavan leper.
Govardhan.
Yes.
Good Govardhan. Well, that's interesting. That's almost new. Yes. So someone who really has, and it's described there how his body was melting away, worms were falling off his body. He would put them back again, which is quite detached. Thinking, well, I'm their food, so I shouldn't deprive them of their food. But when Lord Chaitanya came, he just embraced them, immediately embraced them, like Sanatana Goswami, who was covered in all kinds of sores that were oozing. What did Lord Chaitanya say? Well, when I embrace you, I feel like a mother. When she cleans her child, she thinks that the stool and urine is like sandalwood paste. Now I asked mothers whether it was like that. Some said yes, some said no. Because we have to consider that what is being spoken about is a transcendental affair, and because Srimati Radharani is this Aladini Shakti Asma. She is Krishna's Shakti. She is the sum total of all of Krishna's potencies, or the source of all other potencies, which these are. Most of these are. Either they are Kaya Vyuha, expansions of her body, her reflection, and the third is, so there's the queens, the Lakshmis, and the gopis. The gopis are expansions of Radha's body. One of them is her reflection, and another one is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So these also fall in that category, and meaning that she is also the source of all beauty. Now we say that Krishna is beauty personified, but Krishna is beautiful, he's full of beauty because Radha is beauty. And he's full of Srimati Radharani consciousness, and of course he's fully absorbed in thoughts and pastimes with her, so therefore he is beautiful. But you can't be beautiful if there is not beauty. So he's dependent. Just like Krishna is very strong, so he lifts Govardhan Hill. But that power to lift Govardhan Hill, where does it come from? So how are you strong? You're strong as long as you have strength, but where does the strength come from? So Srimati Radharani, Krishna says, I'm the strength of the strong, but who's your strength? So his strength is Radha. So all Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitva Eva. So Srimad first in beauty. So everything that's beautiful, everything that's powerful, everything ultimately, all that Shakti potency is coming from Srimati Radharani. And of course, Radharani is Krishna. Or rather, Radharani is Krishna's form as Shakti, and he is the Shaktiman. He is the energy, and he is the possessor of the energy, or the energetic. So here, the real meaning of these is that in terms of beauty, other living entities, other queens, other women share a certain degree of beauty and burning with envy. It's just a form of speaking. Rather, they are very appreciative of Srimati Radharani's beauty and knowing that yes, because she is the source, their source, she is the source of everything that they have. So whether it's qualities, whether it's beauty, whether it's ability in terms of pastimes, and most significantly is love. And Krishna Karshan Nijatan, the ability to control Krishna. So we mentioned that a few days back, that Radha is the only person who can completely control Krishna because she has exclusive features of love, prema, to the stage of Mahabhav. And there's even certain types of Mahabhav or loving devotion that brings Krishna completely under her control, which Chandravali does not have, because Chandravali's love is not of the same category or that of the other pious young girls in Braj, which does not mean that she thinks she's better. She always considers herself to be everyone's servant, and neither should we think that someone's inferior in the sense of unsatisfactory. Everybody is satisfactory. So in the spiritual world, it isn't that everyone has one type of love for Krishna. There are, Rupa Goswami describes different qualities or attributes that ultimately make up 360 different types of love. And that's just in terms of category, but then as many living entities as they are, everyone's love is unique, even though it falls into that certain type of category. Just like you may have a lot of different types of apples, but a Macintosh apple may be this big or it may be this big. It may be redder or it may be greener, but it's still a Macintosh apple. If you know what a Macintosh apple is. Americans know Macintosh. So similarly, you might fall into this category of type of love, but still it's all individual. And this is what gives Krishna also pleasure, that Krishna likes Keshava Drita Jagata Vichitra. Krishna likes this variegatedness. He likes the things variegated. So we'll continue a little more tomorrow and speaking about wonderful attributes of Srimati Radharani. Raghunath Das Goswami wants us to consider this, and almost it's unspeakable. It's not to be spoken of to non-devotees. It's not to be spoken of in public, in class, unless you happen to be giving Radhastani class. But otherwise, there are certain things, apanavajana kata, nakahibo yatatata. There are just certain things that you're meant to keep to yourself. And that's something that devotees have to practice. Some things are meant for others, some things are meant for oneself. What is that discussion? Oh, Kinchit Likita Pravichaya, something that I'm just, Jiva Goswami was writing that I've written some things to please others, and I've written other things to please myself. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Das Goswami ki Jai, Śivarāma Damodar ki Jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna.